that you not because you are good in one position that you are going to be good in the other. I kept on repeating what the Prophet ﷺ said to Abu Dhar radiallahu anhu. And Abu Dhar was very good in countering power. He was very good at resisting the powerful, and he was reminding them, be careful, money is corrupting, power is corrupting, you are going towards something which is wrong and using Islam in the wrong way, and Islam is about serving the people, not being served by the people. This is Islam. And once he asked to the Prophet ﷺ a position. He himself wanted the position. He was strong in counter power. Look at the answer of the Prophet ﷺ. You are good in resisting. Ya Aba Dhar, innaka da'if, wa innaha amana, wa innaha yawma al-qiyamati khizyun wa nadama. He's telling him, you are weak. You are strong as a resistant. You could be weak as someone who is leading. And it's a trust. And the day of judgment is going to be destruction and the end for you. This is what he's saying. You are going to be sad. So you better avoid this. So whatever is your competence in one field, you might not have the competence for another. So my point was not what you are saying. I don't have a problem if you have the skills. If you are someone and who is elected, that's not a problem. But I don't want people to play with religion and to be elected in only because they have religious credential, or because they come from on high and say, I know, and I'm representing the God's words on earth. We don't have this kind. So this is why we are completely different from what was known from the Christian tradition by saying the church, by definition, has power. Yeah. It's not by definition. If you understand how I was constructing the thing, so I don't have a problem, and I'm not going to judge Morsi and anyone else on religious terms. His credential, I'm not going to look at, is he praying 5 times a day? I don't know about this, but is he delivering? Is he doing the job as a politician, as a head of state? This is where I want to be. And if he's quoting the Quran to explain what could be the way he's leading the country, I'm sorry, you don't lead the country by quoting the Quran. You quote the Quran to tell us your reference. Now we are going to see your deeds. And I'm judging your deeds. I'm not going to judge your Quranic reference. Because even Gaddafi was referring to the Quran, even the more corrupt, even Saddam Hussein, when he was alone, he started praying in front of the TV. These people, they know how to play with religions. They know, they say, I'm facing, the tyrant, I'm facing the United States of America, and he started praying. The only time a dictator, this is why I was completely against the way he was killed, Saddam Hussein. I didn't like him. I was very much criticizing from the very beginning. He was a tyrant. But the only time where I thought might be there is something which has to do with the sincerity is when just before they were killing him, he said, La ilaha illallah Muhammadun Rasulullah. On this I cannot speak. But on what he did in front of TV, praying just to mislead the people, I would say, this is politics. This is not religion. And if you are really with God, you don't pray in front of TV. You know why? Because the TV is going to distract you from being with God.
I guess that question is very relevant, even though the brother probably is not Malaysian, because we are kind of being indoctrinated by, especially the Islamic Party of Malaysia, since 1982, when after the Iran Revolution in 1979, when they emulated the system of Wilayat al-Faqih of Iran, and they have so-called kepimpinan ulama over here, and it seems that we are being indoctrinated by believing that only the ulama could lead the country, and this has caused a lot of confusions among Muslims here, and I guess this topic and your explanation is very clear for it. And I think we open to the second round of question and answers, And I saw this Brother Rizky Mukris, a lawyer from the Attorney General Chamber. Probably you could first, later I'll go to that side. Yeah, Brother Rizky.
You positioned Sharia law because you mentioned earlier that what is haram, and you mentioned also about the rule of law. So how we position the Islamic law, I mean the Sharia law? You think we should impose some kind of moral judgment into the citizen or not? That's my question. Thank you.
I'm from USM. I would like to ask you one question. There's two parts. The first, what is your recommendation or model for media independency? Media independency in the civil state society. Secondly, what's your suggestion? How should Dr. Nursi deal with military power?
Prof. Tariq and also Dr. Farouk, Hayakumullah Jami'at. I'm Muhriz from Putrajaya. I'm fond of your writing and works, especially on, since I read your first article on the calling for the moratorium of hudud and capital punishment in Islamic world. My question is, you were saying just now that when the Quran is silent, our mind must be present. The question is, at the moment, at present in Malaysia, they are called for the implementation of hudud, be it from the Islamic Party, and also currently also from another Muslim party, i.e. from the ruling party, UMNO, for the implementation of hudud. So, from your point of view, are you still with the moratorium, i.e. to not to implement hudud law now in any Islamic country, especially in Malaysia, in the light of the complexity and the composition of population in Malaysia? That's all. Jazakallah.
Okay, Bismillah. About what is said by Dr. Farouk on what was said in the country and sometimes said in Muslim majority countries, we really have to be clear on this, that when it comes to politics, when it comes to leading a state, we really have to look at the skills and the competence of the people who have to really run the country, and not only the ulama. And this is in fact at odds with what is the Islamic history. That the ulama were not leading. They refused sometimes just to be used by the state to justify the politics of the state. They were very independent. And you know that the great scholars, they were all in jail before Imam, the Taymiyyah, all these people. And even, you know, my sheikh in history with all these others, because I'm reading them and I'm following, Shatibi had a sense of loneliness in his time. That he was not understood on his own, trying to promote something. And then history is sometimes bringing them back, as he's now brought back with the maqasid al-sharia and all this, because now he's better understood. The Muslim communities and the Muslim majority countries, they are sometimes very harsh with the scholars.